Day. And let me make sure I'm all set up here. Let me know if you hear me. Let me know if you see my screen. I'm just going to turn the game volume down a scotch. Happy Showcase Day. Let's drop this a little bit. Hello, Coco. How are you? I was just going over some of the showcase elements again, and it just got me excited all over again. So I am excited to hang out with everyone tonight. It might be a quick stream depending on how I'm feeling throughout the evening. However, I'm excited. So I hope you guys are excited. In the meantime, I'm going to start with my dailies. Okay, yeah, my pockets are pretty empty. Has anyone successfully gotten their Twitch drops? I claimed them during a Twitch stream, but I haven't gotten them in my mailbox yet. Hopefully I get them soon. Hey Flower Loki, how are you? Happy Showcase Day. Hey Janice. Today's showcase confirmed. I will have the purple unicorn horse of my dreams named Tulip. I love that for you. I'm usually in the office on Wednesdays, but I will be taking a vacation day and won't feel bad about it. And you shouldn't. That is what those days are for. They're for you to do whatever you want with. I absolutely love that for you. PTO, please tell the others you will not be there. I was talking to my best friend earlier, and she is going to have 4 black unicorns. That is what she decided when she saw the showcase. So I am so excited to see what everybody does with the customizations. I am just doing my dailies as we kind of get settled in. I am so excited about everything that I saw in the showcase. Some things that I expected, some things that I didn't expect. All of it looks good. All of it is exciting. While part of me wishes November 19th was tomorrow, part of me is also like, you know what? I think I do need the time. I do need to prepare myself, get my affairs in order in the game, if you will. Let's go find Moana and her boat. But let me know. And actually, I will start a poll as soon as I finish getting the fish from Moana. Let's actually do that. I would love to know what everyone, and I know it's like going to be really hard to choose. I know. I'm fully aware this is not going to be an easy choice, but I would like to know what has everyone most excited if you had to choose. Or you know what? I know what I'm gonna do. What has surprised everyone from the showcase? I know for me, the most surprising part was everything having to do with Cruella, the aesthetics, all the elements of the biomes. So, yeah, that for me was the most unexpected. I definitely wouldn't have guessed that. I like that they surprised me. If it is something that I didn't put, let me know in the chat. All right, in the meantime, just gonna keep running around and doing my dailies. Okay, before I go in, let's see how much of a cleanup. Just empty my pockets. Yeah, I am excited. I was not here to experience the Rift in Time DLC when it was announced. So by the time I started playing, it was right before part 3 was going to come out. Oh, and you guys, we have to see what I did with this room. So close your eyes, close your eyes, close your eyes. I'll show you guys what we did with this, the end result of this room today. But I didn't experience a Rift in Time when it was announced. And so there was no build up for me. I came in at part 3. So for me, it was just like, oh, another list of quests. There was no build up, there was no excitement. Storybook Vale, I was here for the excitement, so I was here for the build up. However, this feels completely different. this feels a lot more magical. It feels a lot more special. And it took me a while to put into words why that is. Um, and I think I understand why. It's the characters. The characters of this one feel the most nostalgic, the most iconic, if that makes sense. Looking at, it's the first princess, it's Tigger, as a kid, a young kid, I'm not a huge Winnie the Pooh fan, but I do remember watching it, when I was much younger, versus some of these others where the characters maybe are a lot newer. Um, every single character in this DLC just feels so nostalgic, especially as a millennial. So I think that is why this one feels more special, as it were, to me. I got all the Twitch up, but to be excused, and I don't want to go back. So I feel that. So Twitch is very, very, very overwhelming for me. I tip my hat to anyone who can manage streaming on Twitch. There are a handful of people that I can watch on Twitch, and I make the exception for them. I forgot to drop off my opal. I'm not opal. What is this thing? That star. I made the exception for them because they are a cozy space, but Twitch is extremely overstimulating and overwhelming. So I watched Consulcato's stream, and I lurked. I just had it on mute because I had an appointment during that time. And afterwards, where am I going? Where am I going? We're going to Eternity Out. And so afterwards, when she was streaming, I just left it on mute and got my Twitch drops. And even just watching her chat had me feeling so overstimulated. And even she said herself that it was overwhelming because at one point I think she had like 4,000 people in her stream. Twitch is a beast. I don't even know any way to put it. So welcome back to YouTube. I didn't get my drops in my mailbox for some reason. I claimed them in the Twitch app. It said I got all four. I claimed them. I don't need more of these items. Yeah, for some reason they are not in my mailbox. So I don't know what's up with that. I'll check again tomorrow. I'm not too pressed for those items. I was happy to support Kato by simply lurking in the background, so no big deal. Janice, I'm not a Disney fan, girly, but I'm excited about Tigger. I usually don't care what characters. So he looked cute. I actually, admittedly, I missed him at first, and I'll show you guys why. I looked right past his head, and was looking at the foliage behind him. So it actually took me a while to register that he was even on my screen. To be completely honest. But I think they did an amazing job with him. He looked adorable. It was surprising to me to see him there, but a good surprise, a fun surprise. But again, there's still I guess I gotta remove this. There is still a nostalgia that comes with Tigger, and so that's what I mean. Like all the characters they chose, just something about them feel nostalgic and iconic. Hey Z, hello, 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 welcome in, welcome in. Thank you for hanging out with me today. Z, how do you feel about this showcase? Did you get to see it all for yourself, or have you just been taking it in with other creators? If you guys do not know, Z is a variety. Yeah, I feel like variety applies. Cozy gaming content creator here on YouTube, plays DDV, Stardew Valley. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Z, you just started playing Dinkum. Z is also based in, I want to say Australia. Also, correct me if I'm wrong. I do know it's already Thursday, probably for you. So Z is someone I tend to catch when my insomnia gets particularly bad. But if you enjoy a cozy stream, like I said, different cozy games, a variety of cozy games, hanging out with Z is always a good time. Hearing her think out loud as she figures it out is always a good time because it kind of just feels like you're just playing with your homie. So thank you, Z, for hanging out with me today. Hi, Owen. Hello, hello, hello. Happy Showcase Day. Welcome in, welcome in. Did you get to see the showcase, Owen? How do you feel about everything that we saw today in the showcase? So far, it looks like biomes is leading. Oh, let's see. I hate that I have to. In case you guys are wondering why I go to this screen so often, by the way, to get to my other monitor, I cannot access my cursor when I'm actually on the main game screen. So I always have to go to this screen and then it lets me get to my cursor and do what I need to do. We're gonna go to Kristoff. Also, has everyone done the Halloween event? I did mine. I got my well. I actually have not looked at it, but I did see it on Topher of Topher's Tavern. I saw it on his stream. Wrong stall. Alright, see, I set my alarm to go off at 2:45 a.m. to be ready for the showcase. You know what? The commitment. So I missed it when it aired in real time because I ended up having an appointment at that time. However, I am okay with the fact that I don't need more snowballs. Actually, you know what? Now that we have a snowy biome coming, I actually might need. Oh, I guess that choice was made for me. Just go ahead and open that. Um, I bawled my eyes out of pure excitement. So yeah, I missed it in real time, and I'm glad I did because so many people I know who watched it in real time, like they were at those heightened emotions. Um, I'm kind of glad I didn't experience. I didn't experience that. I got to be in a very calm state of mind, and because it had already aired, I got to pause and rewind. I bought coal. Guys, did you see what I just did? Emptied a slot. See? Should eat something, right? Because I don't want to have to come back here. But I don't have a lot of any of these things, so I really don't want to waste them. I'll just go home and come back later. But I will come back for those snowballs. Oh, you know what? Since I'll just go ahead and eat both of these. Ha ha ha. I love it when everything works out. You are looking forward to the updates. I can't wait for Tigger, the one. So it seems like Tigger is the fan favorite, not just from Winnie the Pooh, but I feel like from today, most of the chatter and excitement I've seen has been for Tigger. You are in Australia, by the way, see, sorry. Yes. I have a problem with Tigger. I just did not expect that kind of response. But clearly, this is why the people at Game Loft work at Game Loft and why I simply play the game. They know their audience. Like, there were streamers who apparently broke out in tears because they were so full of excitement and emotion when they saw Tigger on their screen. If you like it, I love it. I'm excited for all of it. But characters are typically the lowest on my list, to be quite honest. Um, I have characters that I love, I have characters that are my favorite. But yeah, characters usually rank at the bottom of my list when it comes to what excites me for things to come. And I might be in the minority with that, and it's okay. I knew I had some light wood and dark wood. I'm still getting used to having this new storage room. All right. I'm assuming Pooh and Pooh. Yeah, so I thought they were going to be in a realm to begin with. And so since we're getting Pooh, Tigger, I should say, in the DLC, I'm going to assume we're definitely going to get Pooh, but it's going to be free, which I think works out great. I think that'll be what'll make most people happy, I should say, because he's also such a beloved character. So it can happen without people feeling like, hey, this fan favorite was locked behind a DLC or, a paywall, I should say. So I think they played it really smart. Not what I called. All of my predictions for the showcase were absolutely wrong. Wrong. And I'm okay with being wrong. Ooh, hello, Dominique, Tiger Lily, Cassie, welcome in, Raiders. Welcome in, welcome in. So new finally ended. She did end the stream. Now, did she end the stream or did she kick everyone out? But no, welcome in, Raiders. Welcome in, welcome in. If you guys do not know, her link will show up momentarily when she shows up. Another amazing variety cozy gaming streamer plays Dreamlight Valley, Palia, Dinkum. Although I feel like Dinkum and Dreamlight Valley are where she's spending most of her time these days. I need to empty this out. I'm a little bit out of sorts today. Um, I might have to end up emptying my triage. We can do that today. But I figured I'm not gonna go through the whole showcase, by the way, but there are some things that stood out to me that I figured we could take a look at and discuss. So welcome in, Raiders. New, hello. So yeah, if you guys like hanging out with me, I know you like hanging out with New. She has amazing energy, streams Dreamlight Valley, streams Dinkum, loves decorating, and it's just always a fun time. So always a good time. The energy over there is amazing. So yes, please go check her out. I'm pulling the Discord down from the submissions are just too good in it. Except I'm just oh, it was funny. In case you're wondering what she's talking about, Dream Snap submissions. What can we say new? It is an amazingly talented community. Obviously the developers are fully aware of it, and that's why they keep giving us more things to decorate with. Stream is going good. I don't know how long I will last, but I was just kind of just doing my dailies. There are a few things. She's about to hit that closet up. Listen, get your do what you need to do to recover from stream. Head to the closet, get your ice cream sundae, whatever it is that you need to do to recover. Oh, stream's going good, not that far in. I'm just gonna go back here since this is where I found the well. This corner was decorated. You wouldn't know it because they put the well there and it destroyed it. But I was able to complete that event. So I think that's what this red dot is. No, it's not. It's the headless horseman. So for anyone who hasn't done the new event, I have so many favorites. This is the well that you get. So are those crows or are those ravens? I can't wait to watch New back. It was a great stream, Janice. She had me cracking up. Um, so how you doing and feeling? I'm still in a lot of pain. For those of you who don't know, I fell down my stairs yesterday. I didn't break anything, but they do think I tore more ligaments than one should tear in one's ankle. And so I'm in a boot, I am on crutches, I'm in a lot of pain, but I am in good spirits. Today's stream really helped. And my family's been amazing, just taking care of me, letting me rest. They were actually surprised that I still streamed. And I was like, well, besides the pain, I mean, like, what else am I, gonna do? Like, I'm excited about the showcase. I'm bored. I can't be still, so thank you for asking, New. I know, recovery will be hard. They already told me, but I know I'll be fine. So yeah, that's all that matters. So the new event. Okay, so let's go to the tab. Hold on. Let me just give you guys a. Oh, we can. What's the interact? What do we do here? Oh, they just go away. Oh, that's fun. Okay, I will put this in my Forgotten Lands at some point. All right, let's check that out. So the new event, that didn't break anything, but that was one of my biggest concerns. So when they told me nothing was broken, I was like, great, but I still have to see an orthopedic, and then eventually they told me I'll need what is that? Physical therapy. Hello, Bestie Morgan. Oh, Cassie, did I see when you came in? Hi, Cassie. Hello. And this is what you came at a perfect time, but yes, but thank you, everyone. I am resting. It is just very hard for me to stay still. And I was like, you know what? Let's just see how far I go. I took my pain meds right before starting stream, and we will see how far I can go. Maybe it's an hour, maybe it's two, probably won't be more than two. So the event, it's this Halloween event. If you were here last year, you might have already completed some of it. And there's two events. This one hasn't started yet, but they populated it already. So this one I think you can start next week. So we can ignore this. But the trick or treat event, you basically actually need to craft this. I'll go do that. You find these candy buckets around your plaza. Once you get enough of them, you're able to craft, oh, excuse me, all of these lanterns, jack-o'-lanterns that you see here. The Haunted Well is the newest one that they added today. To get that one, you will find a red chest in your plaza. There will be a memory, and then this magical well will appear, and there's a puzzle. Once you solve that puzzle, you get this new well. And these are the candy buckets that I'm talking about. I already had a bunch of the candies, so I was able to complete the next part. But yeah, you'll just see them. There'll be green buckets, purple buckets, and red buckets. I believe those are the three colors. Yeah, so that's the event. And before you review and unpack the showcase, what you rated from your first watch? So I was saying earlier, I had the benefit of watching it actually after it happened. So I watched it straight through, but and then I paused and took notes and did my thing. So I had a far less emotional response than everyone else. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 though. I think it was amazing. And see, I did all of my daily, so I was saying we're not gonna rewatch the stream, but there are a few things that definitely stood out to me that I think we can go over just kind of as like standouts. And this was like a good place to end the poll. So it looks like all of it one with a whopping 63%, and biomes coming in at 21% at second, if you can even call that second place. So I was saying, to me, what was most surprising was specifically Cruella's biome, everything having to do with Cruella in general. Dominique, also a few people struggled to find the wild. I know most people said, so it's in the forest. Most people said they found theirs near the Frosted Heights. So near, some people found theirs near the big stairs. Some people found theirs near Elsa's Cavern. I know a few people found theirs here. I found mine here. One, let's see. I found mine here. Hold on. The kiddos are screaming. Give me 1 second, everyone. Actually, this feels like a good time to switch to this screen so that we can actually talk about the showcase. But yeah, that is where I found my well. I hope that helps, Dominique. Um, I know few people, it took them a while. Mine honestly was pretty easy to find because it destroyed the decor that I had in that corner. Samantha, welcome, welcome. Thank you for subscribing. Welcome to the parlor. I'm excited to have you here. I'm excited that you decided to make it official. Thank you. I'm excited for it. I'm also ready. Did Nikki's dailies and waiting until the showcase. I need to do my Nikki dailies. Thank you for reminding me. Yes, Glamour Gulch looks so pretty. So let me actually pull up some of I have screenshots, like I said. So I'm just gonna share what stood out the most to me. For some of what stood out the most to me, I should say, for the showcase, and we can discuss and go through. And yeah, let's just see how excited we are. So let's do it. Okay, so first and foremost, hold on, I gotta get myself organized here. because right out the gate, obviously, they showed us the free update stuff, which is one thing I absolutely will always give this game credit for. The fact that you can still continue to enjoy the game, have a great time, if the DLCs aren't quite in the budget or if those characters aren't for you. There's still so much free content that comes with it. Dominique, thanks. I'll go look when I get home and get on my Xbox because trying to play on my phone through the yeah, I think you'll have a much easier time finding it. Because again, it's in what is that place? The forest. So it can be on either one of those two sides. Rather you just do it on the Xbox. Okay, so and let me move the chat actually just to kind of keep that clean so you guys can see. So we knew Cinderella was coming. So that's, not news. However, what stood out most to me about this is and let me not say most to me because I missed it on first pass. My daughter pointed it out. The jacket that the avatar is wearing. So at a glance, when I first saw it, I thought it was from last year's Frost and Fairies update. It is not. So that is a brand new jacket. We currently also do not have a white turtleneck in the game unless you use Touch of Magic. We have a beige one. We have a black one. The white one's only available with Touch of Magic. So I wonder if we're getting, a basic white turtleneck. But I am excited for Cinderella. Not so much Cinderella. I could take Cindy one way or another. However, I am excited because they named the update Winter Ball. And so to me, that's giving royals, it's giving princess, it's giving princesses. So I'm thinking ball, I'm thinking there's going to be all of these regal elements. Possibly the star path is going to have some sort of theme related to that. So I'm excited to see what they do with the winter ball. Are we going to get a winter castle skin to go with it? Are we going to get some more gowns? Are we going to get some tuxes? Are there going to be all these different elements related to galas new? Is this when we're going to get our Tiana bundle? Yeah, maybe. So that is really what stood out to me, the name. And like I said, my daughter clocked the jacket, and I spotted the turtleneck. So I can't wait to get more information about this. And I just love that it is part of a free update for it to be such an iconic princess, one that I know people have been asking for, and she's nice and free. I think that that is very amazing. So that's the first thing that stood out to me. Dream teams. I really really like the idea of dream teams. No, the jacket observation, that was definitely my daughter, 100%. She caught that on the first pass of watching it. I was like, oh, I was like, no, that's the jacket from last year. And she's like, no, it's not, mommy. So, um, like, is that giving Star Path? Like, what are the outfits gonna look like? So the next thing that stood out to me was these dream team communities. And the way I understood it is that this feels like it's gonna be it's a response to treasure rallies that they saw people going to. Janice, I think they're gonna end 2025 with a bang and give us the search bar. Janice, Janice, I claim it. I receive it. I feel like 2025, they are ending it with such a bang that they are giving us all the things they have seen us talking about, complaining about, hoping for, all the requests that we put in Discord. I believe it. So I hope we are right. I receive it. They're definitely working on expectancy on the least, and it takes a lot more. I mean, listen, take that's all the time they need to do it right. Because the hashtag justice for Tiana. That's all I'll say. Her Dapper Delights Star Path, still one of my faves. But seeing how far they've come and evolved in Star Paths between now and then, yeah, it could have been better. So the dream teams, I think this is a way of saying, hey, you guys want to share, you guys want to collect, resource, and hoard. And I think this was their response to that. So it looks like there's a limit on daily requests, a cooldown period, but essentially it feels like it's a way for people to send mail, essentially, share resources without having to exchange portals and wait for loading screens. I know, for example, my best friend, she plays on Switch, and the other day I felt like, so we live in completely different states. I felt like it would have been quicker for her to take a plane to my house than it did for her to load into my valley. And so I think this will be a great way to mitigate all of that, but still be useful. I don't think it's going to replace the portal. I think if you actually want to physically visit someone's valley for whatever reason, but I think in the same way, when you visit someone already and you've already been to their Daisy Boutique, actually, I don't even think you've had to have been to their Daisy Boutique. If you've been to someone's valley, you can access their Daisy Boutique just through going to your Daisy portal. I think this is kind of like along that same lines of mechanism. You don't have to physically be there to exchange mail, but it's not eliminating if you want to actually go visit your valley friend. Hey hippie, happy showcase day. How are you? How are you? I'm just going through some of the standout moments of the showcase for me. Just a little kind of cozy discussion. What I loved, what I was surprised by. How are you feeling about the showcase, Ippy? Oh, and new. What are you rating the showcase? I gave it a 15 out of 10, but what are you rating it, by the way? So, this screen stood out to me because it looks like there's like a feed, and you can see all your members and what they've requested. Um, I'm curious to see this in real time, like in action. My dream team will probably have like 3 people. um, I'm curious to see if you can be on multiple dream teams. Like if I create one, but can I join somebody else's? But so far, I'm a big sucker for UI. I love this layout, which makes me wonder what other tweaks they maybe have made to some menus. But this, I see a lot of potential with this, but I'm excited to see it in real time. And because this is coming part of the free update, kind of going to what you were saying earlier, if they're doing something like this, Janice, the search bar feels like it's going to come right along with it. The other thing that stood out to me, 10 out of 10, of course, DV is the, well, yes, yes. The other thing that stood out to me was this. So for those of you, and this is why I don't think they're replacing the portal, but they are addressing the fact that it was a challenge to visit people for resources, right? And that's what it was for. For those of you who have had people visit your valley or visited people's valleys, you get these little pixel shards on the floor, and you can use them to craft 2 other items: a cooking flame, which I love using, as well as these little shard bags. The shard bags replace materials. If you don't have a particular material while you're crafting, you can use the shard bag in its place. You need this to craft that shard bag. And the cooking flame doubles your cooking output. So like I use the cooking flame a lot when I'm making berry salads. So whereas without the cooking flame, I put in the ingredients, I get 1 berry salad. With the flame, I get 2. And that's what you use these for. And the fact that we are still going to be able to get these just for helping someone, I think that is super, super dope. So that is something else that stood out to me. And next, oh, gracious, we have an itinerary, guys. Let's put up the itinerary. Okay. Because I knew I needed to keep myself on track. So this is the itinerary that we are working off of, by the way, because otherwise my ADHD would start ADHDing and we would never get anything done. Also, all the codes are on here. There were 3 codes during the showcase. Um, this itinerary will go on and off the screen, so you'll be able to catch it. But it's 2025 frame and motifs, 2025 headband, and 2025 signpost. I have not redeemed these items yet. I cannot redeem codes on my Mac, so I will be waiting till I'm on my PlayStation to do that. I completely agree. I'm a huge day one hoarder, so I can't wait to assemble a team and help new players. Yes, and so I mentioned that. So the assumption was that every single person who had amassed a ton of resources did it through nefarious means. And it's like, no, there are people who've been playing since day one, who grind every day, and who have seriously amassed stacks and stacks and stacks and stacks of resources. And so I'm excited to see this implemented, the dream teams. I think they said everything without saying anything on how they want us to multiplayer by the setup. I clocked and I heard, yeah, they're saying, listen, you guys said you want to share resources. Um, if that's what you really want to do, then this is how you're gonna do. Now, if the portal becomes something different, because I don't think it'll be obsolete, but if it becomes something different, so yeah, you can still visit, but you can't drop resources on the floor to give to someone or whatever the case is, I'm cool with that. But I do need them to change the way the portal looks. Can it just be a portal like the portal we take to the Dark Castle? Like, if we're gonna make changes, let's start with that. Let's start with that giant rainbow tower. Just saying. So yeah, this is the itinerary. So we talked about Cinderella, we talked about dream teams. Now we are going to talk about the roadmap. I didn't see any of this coming. I had it all wrong. I'm happy to be wrong. However, I had it all wrong. I would have bet big money that spring was gonna be Pooh Bear. Some Pooh Bear characters, a Pooh Bear realm. I would have bet big money that early 2026 would have been Hercules and Meg. Now, obviously, I'm not too far off because we have Hercules in here somewhere. However, Pocahontas was absolutely not on my radar. Lady and the Tramp were absolutely not on my radar. Um, but I like this ensemble. I like that they are really reaching deep into Disney history, Disney lore. Because on the surface, it could seem like, oh, well, we've gotten everyone we can get. And it's like, actually, no, there's a lot more. But they're not just sticking to Pixar, they're not just sticking to what's new. They are really going in the Disney bag of tricks to get characters that are iconic and amazing. And I love this. Ready for, yes, Morgan. I can't wait to see what the character models are going to look like for these characters. I'm a little concerned. I'm holding out hope that it is Meg and Hercules, and that the only reason they're showing us the Phil statue is because we have the Phil statue in the game. I'm gonna have an attitude if we get Phil. I don't dislike Phil, but he can't. It can't be we get Hades and then we get Phil. That's not gonna sit well with me. Um, I know a lot of people are thinking it's gonna be Phil and Herc or Phil and Meg. I need it to be Herc and Meg. But let me see. Pocahontas, yeah, Pocahontas was not, and not that I thought it was impossible that we got Pocahontas. I just did not think it was something that was on DDV's radar, and therefore it was not on my radar. Yes, thank you, Morgan. Words are hard. They went in the DDV vault. That is what they did. And I truly, truly appreciate that they did that. That just tells me they are, one, paying attention, they are listening, but that they are striking a balance between the old and the new, if you will. They're not just relying on, because this year we got like Inside Out, that's Pixar, that's a new movie. Even with Moana, she's on the newer side of things, right? And then ending the year with Snow White and Cinderella, and then them going into a Pocahontas, that just feels like they are honoring the beginnings of Disney just as much as the ones that are more recent. I feel like the door will be Herc and Megan sent to the veil if you don't have it. Yeah, I think they definitely want to continue to bridge the gap between paid and base game. How can we incentivize people to get the DLC, even if their beloved characters are free. So yeah, you could be perfectly fine with just like if we get uh Ethiopia type realm, I think that would be so amazing. Um, but then imagine if there's also a special quest that involves Hades in the same way that we saw a special quest with Rapunzel and Flynn, who are both DLCs. I will say a missed opportunity with that was something that involved, I mean, they did it a little bit with Mother Gothel, but I think they're really learning how to bridge the gap between the paid and the unpaid. Thank you, New. Go get your ice cream. Don't go decompress. Honestly, I'm surprised you're still here. To be quite honest, go do everything you need to do to recover from the day, recover from streaming. Thank you again for stopping by. I had a lot of fun at your stream. And yeah, do whatever you need to do. I still have to dust off my Disney streaming subscription because I haven't seen it. So, and this is why I talk about the nostalgia. I've seen these movies long ago. Most of them are not fresh in my mind. I want to say the one I probably watched the most recently was Hercules. I think I watched it a couple of months ago, just cause. Um, so I'm gonna rewatch Lady and the Tramp. I'm gonna rewatch Pocahontas, just to kind of also kind of like refresh myself with the character, but also like some of the aesthetic details and elements. Because I want to see then how that translates to this game. That's what I feel like when we get Pooh Bear. Yes. Although I really expected Pooh Bear to be on this roadmap, but I'm really happy with this roadmap. I would give this roadmap if we were rating roadmaps, I'll give it an 8 out of 10. Just because I don't know that I needed to start the year with Lady and the Tramp. Um, Starting the year with two dogs is just not. It doesn't feel like an exciting way. Like when I think about this year, we kicked it off with Gelatin. This doesn't give me that same energy. So I give it an 8 out of 10. All right, so now we're going to jump into. So this is my plan for all things having to do with the expansion, which we are getting November 19th. Um, I feel like that's a good date. That's enough time from then to the free update to play through whatever you need to play through. I feel like that's enough time between now and then to, again, do whatever you need to do to prepare for that. I think they found a good sweet spot for a date. Okay, so we're gonna look at the characters, some of the gameplay that they talked about. Oh, excuse me. The biomes, the companions, some of the standout building and crafting elements, and um, what we get when we spend our money. Da, da, da. Are they going to talk like they do in the movie? You know, this is why I need to rewatch the movie. Because that is a very good question. They are dogs, but in their movies they're talking dogs. So unlike Lucky and Max and Nana, but I'm assuming so. If they're making them characters instead of companions, because we've already clearly seen dogs come to the game, then yeah, I guess we're gonna be having conversations with dogs. I mean, we're talking to clocks and candles, so at this point, nothing's off off limits. Yeah, I'm so curious what the quest thing is gonna look like with what where they're going to live because we have Lady's house, um, and well, the tramp didn't have a house, so very curious about all that this is going to entail. All right, so let's get into some expansion talk. This is such a, I don't want to say insignificant detail, but in the grand scheme of things, this might be the least exciting of the details. However, for me, it was one of the most exciting because I was very curious as to how we were going to be getting. Let me go ahead and get the itinerary off the screen. I'm so sorry, y'all. About how we were going to be getting to the Wishblossom Ranch. So, if memory serves, EI was a boat, and then Storybook Vale was Is that a hot air balloon or a plane? I feel like we flew. I don't remember, but I feel like we were in the air nonetheless. This train looks amazing. I want this train in the same way that we got the train with Tiana's Star Path, that trolley, or in the same way that we have those little trolleys that we got from Oswald. I need a version of this train that I can place in my valley on my tracks. I think it's just so beautifully done. Um, I need it. I need it. I need it. I need it. And hopefully it is something that we are going to get. So now let's talk about some of the characters. Okay, so we already knew we were getting Snow White. We already knew we were getting Tinkerbell. We already knew we were getting Maximus. We saw a couple of days ago one of the other horses. Tigger was not on my bingo card at all. Even though people were saying we're gonna get Winnie the Pooh characters, I did not see this coming. I think they did a phenomenal job with his character. I am so curious to hear his voice and also to see what we get with him, like what his quests are going to be, what his friendship gifts are going to be. Because Tigger is a very interesting character from the Pooh cast. And they kept making a point during the showcase of saying this excitable character. So I suspect we even see his house. Go ahead and show you guys this scene here. I am almost certain this is his house. Thank you, Owen. Same to you. Thank you for always being here and hanging out. And guys, thank you for 22 likes. I really appreciate it. So I suspect, where is it? Where is it? That this is going to be Tigger's house. Now I need you guys to not get distracted by Con. Because this part actually happens super fast. So don't get distracted by Con. I am pretty sure that is Tigger's house. Also look at the little purple geese. Pretty sure that's his house. I think it is so cute. I don't know enough about Pooh Bear to know if this is something that came straight out of the show or any of the movies. I don't remember enough of it to know if it's something original IP or something original to Gameloft. Someone let me know, but I do think it looks amazing and I can't wait to place it. So I think they did a great job with introducing him. I just need to see what other things we get from him, and I need to hear what he sounds like. So now, the Queen. And I say the Queen, I do not like animation Cruella de Vil. I'm not even gonna, she's not my cup of tea. However, loved her, absolutely loved her in the live action with her prequel. I liked her in the original live action. And I remember her adaptation to What Is That, Once Upon a Time. I loved that version of her character. So I think she's just such an amazing character. I don't even know if like villain. I feel like villain's a little, I mean, she's not nice. But I don't know, villain feels a little strong. Misunderstood feels more appropriate for her. And I think they gave her, this is an amazing storyline. Like, she just wanted to take over the ranch and clearly just wasn't good at it. I think that that is just so hilarious. I think her artwork is amazing, and I think a biome themed after her might be my favorite thing that Game Lost has done. In terms of a character and like aesthetic elements, this might be my favorite thing that they've done. Because look at these mannequins. Look at these giant trees. Look at the foliage. Look at the landscaping, the buildings. This is a level of creativity that is top tier. So I have an image here of the glamour gulps. Just to kind of really take in, again, we're going to ignore the horses. I know it's real hard to ignore the horses, but we're going to do our best to ignore the horses in this shot. And also, I forgot to mention, look at the lamppost from the last shot. These trees, the variation of the trees, the spools, the push pins. That is so much detail. And you would think, like, when it comes to these fantastical biomes, like the Pixie Hollow inspired, the 100 Acres inspired seems a little obvious. You would think, oh, Cruella, there's no way she can aspire a biome. And yet, and honestly, I didn't think I'd love a biome more than I love the bind. I think this one does it for me. I think this one does it for me. All right, next, there are two areas, actually, while we're on horses, I actually want to talk about Khan. Khan is one prediction that I did get correct. And so that makes me happy because a lot of my predictions for today were incorrect. If you guys were here during my Sunday stream, then you would know that I was wrong. I was wrong about so much. And I'm okay with that though. So if we look at Khan, he is superbly done. The reason I grabbed this shot is because one, it is an amazing view of what I believe is the Glamour Gulp's courtyard, if I had to guess. But the dog statues. One is, the dog, and one is headless. Now I need to go back and rewatch the movies to look at Cruella's estate to kind of compare some of the elements. But also Khan. He looks amazing here. Hey Lori, how are you? You know what? Sometimes sleep just evades us. Hopefully the stream helps you relax and then maybe you can get some sleep. But thank you for hanging out all the same. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How are you feeling about the showcase and everything that was revealed? Nicholas, hello, hello, hello. How are you? I would love to see the Jungle Book. Which characters from the Jungle Book? And are we thinking a Jungle Book realm, a Jungle Book inspired biome, or simply the characters? Okay, next, let's look at Pixie Acres, because that is something else that is so exciting, and that they did an amazing job kind of thinking through the design. Okay, so Pixie Acres, that is the third biome. Also, just one of the ways that they kind of broke it down, the way I understood it, and feel free to let me know if you guys understood it differently, but there's three biomes. The one that we kept seeing the most of, Wishing Alps, Glamour Gulps, is the second one, and then Pixie Acres. But we do have these crystal caverns in the heart of Wishblossom Ranch, but that is not a biome. With all these different names, I need to walk around the map because Crystal Cavern sounds like it's going to be something completely different and separate, which we'll get into in a little bit. But yes, this is did I put it up on the screen? I did not. I did not. We're still looking at the amazing Khan, which is fine. I mean, no big deal. But Pixie Acres. I need to see this in action. However, I guess we remain whatever size we are. And everything in here is just made big, which I love. I love the whimsy of that. It makes me think of Ever After in the Vale. There are usually 5 biomes. So I don't feel informed enough to accurately answer that, Lori. I'm not even gonna lie. And I only say that because not counting the base game, which the biomes are very clear cut. When we look at, and I can actually open it back up in a little bit just to kind of compare the maps, right? But when we look at Eternity Isle, it had these three massive biomes, but the kind of like sub biomes, if we will, weren't as, and even the Game Loft developers, by their own admission, said it wasn't exactly as clear cut and straightforward as it could have been in terms of the way those biomes were set up. And so let's just go ahead and take a look at that. Um, and then it was just something that they sort of corrected with Storybook Vale. It's a blue and pink ice formation. Yes, so though that's the Crystal Caverns, that kind of pink teal. I'm gonna go back to that image. I don't know what the cherry on top is gonna be. I'm not sure, but they didn't. So we just want to look at the map. So Storybook Vale was done, not Storybook Vale, excuse me. Eternity Isle was done in a way, like I said, even by their own admission. Just go ahead and turn all these things off. Was done in a way that they've said was a bit confusing to navigate. So yes, this is the big biome, big biome, big biome. But within it, the sub biomes were a little tricky. So Ancient's Landing had, I guess, what is this, these 4 areas, because all of this is considered the docks and then courtyard. So it had these 4 areas. Wild Tangle had these also 4 areas, but they kind of went down into these different nooks and grooves and hills and what's not. But I guess essentially these 4 areas. And then the Glittering Dunes had these 4 areas. But again, just kind of like with the bridges and the stairs and everything and the inclines, it wasn't exactly the most straightforward. And then when we look at Storybook Vale, I wish when you tap the map, it actually just shows you that map without me having to go there. Um, so the Glittering through the Wild Tangle were split, so you counted it as 5 biomes. I still get lost in there. I still don't understand that place, to be quite honest. And then the bind, and you had the 3 larger biomes. The bind I felt like was much cleaner to navigate. You had your 3 main areas. Um, the bind was really just the bind, and then within Mythopia, you had the 4 sub biomes. Ever After as the 4 sub biomes. Actually, now talking through this out loud, it seems like the theme is 4s. So maybe that's what they're gonna go with. Kind of doing it this same way. So if we go back to the list that I have when it comes to, because the 3 biomes that they named when it comes to Wishblossom Ranch is Wishing Alps, Glamour Gulps, and Pixie Acres. Those are the 3 biomes that they named. So I am wondering, when we see things like the Crystal Cavern, and I actually have an image of the Crystal Cavern, and I'll throw that up on here as well. I wonder if that is because what they said exactly. The Crystal Caverns is in Wish Blossom Heart because that's where the magic is being drained. That's the area that's in a state of decay. Let me go ahead and actually get that image up on the screen. That heart area that they speak of. Oh no, I can't find it. Wait, where is it? Where is it? Okay, here we go. So many images, so little time. So this is the area inside those, so that peak where we see the teal, the yellow, and the pink. This is inside of that, from what I gathered, and this is where we have to go in and fix things. It also seems like this is where we're gonna go in and find those puzzles. So I don't know if this counts as another biome, so to speak, or if it's like the trial areas um in Mythopia and Ever After, or like what we see in the Glittering Dunes where we have the Cave of Wonder. I'm not entirely sure what this cave is going to be. I do think that sweets, that cherry top ice cream might be some sort of sub biome area in Pixie Acres, possibly because we know there's like a honey river somewhere in there. So I do think it's going to be another split situation, but I need to see a map to really understand what I'm looking at, if that makes sense, Lori. Because like I said, Eternity Owl, really, I struggled with getting used to it, but I know they specifically call this area the heart of Wishblossom. Which, by the way, this area I think is so beautifully done. I think they did a phenomenal job with this artistry. I have another and this particular area, this is the area that we see them walking in when I'll just throw it up. When we see all of the villagers and they're telling us that we're going to solve everything that's happening, that's this. So I know this is a central part of the gameplay, the storyline. But yeah, I need to see it in action. I'm trying to get to specifically that part. Here we go. So it's the one with the, why is it not showing the way that I want it to? Give me a second, guys. There we go. So this is that. I need to see how we get in there. I need to see if it's just something that's separate and designated for fixing the problems, solving the puzzles. Let's see what Disney Pixar movie has food stuff. I can't remember the name of it. Oh, Cloudy with a chance of a football meatball. Is that what you're talking about? Cloudy with a chance of meatballs. Okay, I want to see where we are in our itinerary. Okay, let's see, how are we doing here? How are we doing here? There are a few more details in the biomes that, again, I know where I'm going to be hanging out a lot. Yeah, so that's the movie you're thinking of. Okay, great. Hi, Riley. Hello, hello, hello. Happy Showcase Day. How are you? How are you? How are you feeling about the showcase? Are you excited? What are you looking forward to? What are you rating the reveals that we got today? Huh. That's a very interesting theory. The ice cream is the winter scene, and that will be the area. I'm not against that, especially because again, it is Pixar. I could see them trying to tie that element in. It's definitely something that is heavily, what's the word I'm looking for? Whimsical. So I could absolutely see them doing something along those lines. I wouldn't put that past them, and I think I'd be okay with it. Let's see, there's one shot in particular on the interior, and I'm kind of fast forwarding through my shots and make sure I don't miss any messages. Loving the showcase, super excited. Setting up my new Steam Deck. Oh, I've never had a Steam Deck. What is that like? Like, are you needing to transfer all your games? Because what did you play on originally, Riley? After going through the showcase again, I think the currency could possibly be pixie dust, since they said you would reconstruct the deconstructed. So I was trying to figure that out as well, Cassie, if it's going to be pixie dust or wish magic, because they also say wish magic a few times. Um, and I was like, okay, so what's the wish magic referring to, you know? Um, I but like if and I wonder if the pixie dust is more so like, okay, we're doing this thing with Tinkerbell and therefore we'll use pixie dust for these specific tasks or crafts or whatever that is. Um, I noticed that too, but they've mentioned wish magic as well. Or did I make that up? Let me know if anyone else heard that. But I definitely feel like I heard a mention of wish magic. So I have questions. All right, let's this is the other interior. So when we go into the cavern, this is the shot. But there are a slew of new characters they could bring in from and there are a slew of characters. Yes. And I know exactly which winter scene. You're talking about the scene where it's the little boy who wants the ice cream for his birthday from his dad. I could totally see them getting creative with that. Or at least some variation of that, like being pulling inspiration from that, even if not a direct callback to it, if that makes sense. You play on laptop mostly, so you already have the Steam account. Okay, so it's a pretty simple transfer of the game. Okay. Because I know for PC players, you're setting up it's a Steam account anyway. It's just a question of whether or not it's Steam on PC or Steam on this. I don't have a Steam Deck again. Like I said, am I safe in correcting that a Steam Deck is just essentially a portable PC? How do we change of Meatball into? I thought it was Pixar. Oh, did we have that wrong? Did we have that wrong? Let me know if we had that wrong. But that still feels like a good place to kind of pull some ideas and inspiration from. All right, so next, on the just kind of like some scene shots again that stood out to me. Lastly, when it comes, I think we covered everything with the biomes. No, we didn't. There are the foliage shots. So I am more than characters, very excited. It is Pixar. Okay. So yeah, they can definitely pull some inspiration from it if they wanted to. It is a portable PC. Okay. Oh, Cassie, that's what you play on as well. Okay. Well, I was like, I'm pretty sure that's what it is, but I wasn't sure. All right. So we also have, I said, 9 times out of 10, I'm just here for the decorating. If it doesn't have to do with the decorating, I want no parts of it. So the foliage in Glamour Gulps and Pixie Acres stood out to me more than anything. Monsters Inc. is Pixar. Inside Out is Pixar. Cars is Pixar. Incredibles is Pixar. And so yeah, all of that falls under Disney. The foliage in here, I'm so curious if these trees are obviously they're visually very, very appealing, but I'm curious if they're going to be something that like, can I harvest, for lack of a better word, these ribbons? And then imagine we can harvest the ribbons and craft with them. Okay, so all right, well now we need to look this up. So I am gonna open my Google. All right, so we're looking at cloudy with a chance of meatballs. Who's it from? Who is it from? Who owns? It is Sony Pictures Animation. It is Sony Pictures Animation. You are right, Flower Loki, which means it is not Pixar, which means it is not Disney. We all just learned something new. Um, these trees, are we going to be able to harvest? Um, don't worry, Lori, I thought it was them too. So we both just learned something together. Um, are we going to be able to harvest these ribbons? Are those ribbons going to be something that we can craft with? Right? Just saying. Which also, Mike and Sully are Pixar though, yes. Um, like, oh, I like that idea, making outfits with the ribbons. See, I was thinking like crafting like decor items. But even yeah, because I something that did cross my mind was, so we got the boutique with Daisy, but that's more, the touch of magic. So customizing colors and graphics. I was wondering, what if Cruella brings us another fashion boutique type of element? Whereas, Daisy's a little limited. We don't even get pants from Daisy. We get a dress, we get some sweaters, we get some shoes, but we're not getting full outfits. My mannequins have no pants on in Daisy's boutique. We don't get skirts from her. And I was wondering if Cruella is going to bring another kind of fashion element where we can get a more robust fashion assortment. So I wasn't thinking about using the ribbons for that, but that could also be something. Even looking at these flowers, we're obviously going to be able to pick these flowers just like we would pick any other flowers in the game. However, could we craft with them? I mean, I hope so. I hope they're not as obsolete as the roses that we get, and that they're not just there, for show. I'd like to be able um, to use them in some way. And so my first thought was just kind of crafting things that are more fabric based, like upholstery. But I like the way you're thinking, Flower Loki. I like that plan. All right, give me 1 second to get this one. So next we're gonna look at some of the uh, you might hear my kiddo, my youngest, screaming, so I'm actually just gonna turn the mic off really quickly while I load up the next scene. All right, we are back. We are back. I also decided to take advantage and take a water break. Um, these elements we saw in the preview where we saw the honeybees, we saw these jars of honey on the floor. I think those are going to be used to craft or cook or something. But this, what did you say? There'll definitely be a quest for Corellan Day. I hope so. I hope there is something having to do with fashion, but that also actually comes to fruition, Flower Loki. Because if you remember, I don't remember if it was Daisy's quest or Minnie's quest, where they were supposed to start their dots and something or the other fashion line, and I think we had to go to Scrooge and see if he would carry it. So we modeled one of their shirts or something, and nothing came of that. We don't get clothes in Scrooge anymore. Well, I don't get clothes in Scrooge anymore. Hold on 1 second, everyone. All right. Um, you might just hear a door slam, but lost my train of thought. Yes, this area. I have the honeybee hive house. So you know what? I did not buy that house. I um I don't want to say I'm stingy with my moonstones, but I'm very picky with my moonstones because I don't get a lot of them. And so at the time that the honey house came out, I prioritized other items that I didn't have because I had no ideas for the honey house. And now that I know we're getting this biome, what I love about this shot is, you know, we have the tiny ladder, we have all of these foliage. One, I hope it's foliage that we can decorate with. But imagine if this was also, because we're going to be tiny next to them, or they're going to be giant next to us, I should say. Imagine if one of the harvestables is something, I don't want to say pollen, but something along those lines where we get some kind of resource from like the center of the giant sunflower. And that goes into, you know, some sort of crafting or something like that. But even if this is just purely aesthetic, now I need that honey beehive house. Because I'm like, this is gonna look amazing. You have the honey river, and I'm like, I would have made different choices. I would have positively, absolutely made different choices if I knew we were gonna get this. There was a time where I was spending $100 a month on moonstones. No more. I got the honeybee house back. Yeah. Yeah, and it adds up. Like it really, really adds up. I want to say I don't spend as much as I used to either. I'm trying to, if I had to do the math, I think I still average thereabouts to $50 a month, but some months are more than others because my daughter also plays this game. When I'm lucky, there's something that she likes that I don't like, that I like that she doesn't like. She's also not really heavy into the decorating as much as I am. The decorating is what gets me, which brings me to the buildings that I'm gonna put up on the screen. So as of recently, just buying the $50 Moonstone bundle usually gets me from update to update to get what I want from the premium shop. Um, Between that and, you know, voting, getting my chest, doing some dream snaps. I am so glad, which actually perfect pivot. Now you pay for the DLC, nothing else. Yeah, I get the Moonstone bundles because I actually really like those houses. And I'm still getting the Moonstones. So I want to say I'm still averaging just that $50, and that's not really every month. That's like about every 6 weeks, give or take. Yeah, so that's my one Moonstone purchase per update now, Riley. Um, I'm like, if I'm gonna do it, then I might as well, at least I'm getting a house or outfit, whatever the case for it. It only gets really hard if both my daughter and I happen to like the bundle. I will say she likes to dress up more than she likes to decorate in the game. So recently, she's just been wanting the one with just the outfit, not the house. But sometimes we both want the house. Like we both loved the garden castle. She really loved the mushroom outfit that came with it. So it's definitely a balancing act. But that brings me to these next building elements. The fact that these are kits that we're going to be, so we have this one from the Glamour Gulps, which I know I love this update more because I've already remembered the names way faster. I still struggle with the names of things from Eternity Isle. And I've just now remembered, maybe like a month ago, the names of all the biomes in Storybook Vale. Meanwhile, I have all of these nailed. They are locked in. Okay, I won't be forgetting them. So the fact that we have these from Glamour Gulps that we're going to be able to discover and unlock and then buy more of from Scrooge to build, well, to do these modular builds with, that is something that I feel like is going to save a lot of money on premium shop purchases, or at least kind of mitigate Riley used to spend more. Yeah, the only reason I will say I don't think I used to spend more, I'll get back to these kits, is because remember the large 50 to 55 or whatever how much they cost bundles, They're relatively new. I think the first one is just came out a year ago. It might have just hit a year. So we've had maybe six so thus far. Prior to that, there was no $30 bundle. Actually, and that one was $30 at the time. It wasn't 55. The 55 stuff started this year. So when they first started seasonal bundles, the witchy outfit one I think was just $30. The next one might have also just been an outfit, and then they started doing an outfit one and a house and an outfit one. So prior to the addition of those, I think I was still spending around about the same amount of money buying like a $20 bundle, or like two $20 bundles, which I remember this because I got so excited when they came up with a $30 one. I was like, this is the perfect sweet spot for me. So I think I'm still averaging, but I've also cut my spending on other games. So yeah, we have this kit, and then we have the one for Pixie Acres, which I mean is, let's get that one up on the screen as quickly as possible. But when I say I squealed, because when I think about, again, I have no regrets about any houses that I have purchased in the game. I have more regrets about houses that I didn't purchase, to be quite honest, than any of the ones that I did purchase. However, when I think about like potential FOMO, right? Why don't you say that? Okay, there we go. Let's say I didn't have the Teapot House or the Tinkerbell house, but then you get a house like this one and whatever else the other parts of the kits are going to look like. You could create an entire fairy build. If you didn't have the Flower Bloss home, this is a great alternative to that. And then obviously if you do have those things, then this, just elevates it. One thing I don't recall if they said, um, and I rewatched it about 3 times, so I don't think they said, is if these kits could be used on our other maps. Because if these are items that we're buying from Scrooge, logic tells me that I bought it, it's mine, I can put it anywhere. So imagine if you already have a fairy build. I'll use myself as an example. I have a fairy build in the lagoon. I can just bring that element over there. And so if there was a fairy house that I didn't have in the premium shop, and I'm like, I don't feel like spending this money or these moonstones, I think this is a great, and the same thing with the other modular kits. Let's take a look at those again. So we have this one. This would be great, if you're adding, you need to add more elements to your Frosted Heights or your Frosted Heights Island. The Snowy Wishing Alps one, I think would be a great way to introduce that without feeling like, oh, I need to buy this house. Oh, I didn't get this bonus house last winter, and kind of all of that FOMO. This one feels like a really great way to introduce those winter elements. And then obviously we have the Cruella DeVille inspired one, that atrium. I know they mentioned being able to buy. Yeah, so that's what I'm thinking, rather like we unlock them and then we buy more from Scrooge. And so if I'm buying more from Scrooge, I should be able to put it anywhere I want. I had to jump back in and say, welcome back, man. By the way, how's the ice cream? So I'm like, if someone, even thinking about just someone who comes in newer and maybe they missed the greenhouse walls that's in the star path right now, but you can get these atrium pieces, or whatever these are going to be called, and create that same sort of kind of greenhouse using these pieces. That's going to be amazing. Like I am. All right, so there is, and then speaking of, so we're gonna throw it because they also mentioned, in addition to these, they also mentioned it is truly gonna be a game changer. They also mentioned these blueprints. I will say I'm still a little foggy on the details about these blueprints. I just need to see it in action. But when I heard blueprints, the first thing that came to mind was like the blueprints we used to get from Eric, which I don't think really got utilized as much as it could have. My decorating is gonna same Riley, same. And this is why I'm so glad I finished my valley. Um, I think I'm actually gonna skip over. I wanted to finish Eternity Isle. It is about, let's just call it 50% finished. Um, but I feel like when I see some of these elements, it's gonna get me over the finish line. But I feel really comfortable like jumping into decorating the veil. Because I feel like things I was missing, I'm gonna be able to fill the gaps in with some of these items that we're getting. Yes, those blueprints from Eric. Of course, I probably shouldn't eat every night. But we're not gonna talk about that because I do the same thing. I alternate. I go. I'm mostly a Neapolitan girly. Sometimes I'll have a chocolate bar. Um, but sometimes I'll just have like a tea latte. So I think I do a fair balance, but ice cream is usually an every night thing. And I'm just like, you know what? YOLO. So when they mentioned blueprints, the first thing that came to mind was like the ones we used to get from Eric. By the way, I believe these are cranberries. I cannot figure out for the life of me what that yellow gem is going to be in that node. I It doesn't seem as bright as the topaz. Plus, we also get topaz from the veil. We don't need to get it from here and from the veil and from, actually I think we also get it on Eternity Isle and from the valley. That's just no. But it doesn't seem as bright. So I'm very curious what that is. But so that, what is that water tower, is what they were talking about when they mentioned the blueprints and with a little bit of pixie dust. So I know Dominique in Newsstream mentioned that we restore things. We might be restoring things with the blueprints. So I don't know if it's just restoring or if it's also building from scratch. Because right before this scene, you just see the legs and then it shows the whole water tower get built up. But I do know they made a point of mentioning a way of crafting without having to go through the table and just using a bit of pixie dust. Really excited for this element. But I do hope they built it out way more than they did Eric's. Because Eric's, I think we got like 5 things for him. I haven't been back in that man's house in over a year. Maybe, we should probably, before I end stream out, we'll just run in there today just to see what he has. Oh, a holly bush. Oh yeah, because actually cranberries, I mean, this is Dreamlight Valley, so they could do whatever they want. But cranberries aren't on bushes. They're in bogs, I think. Is that what that's called? Ooh. Topaz is on all the maps at that point. Listen, listen. If I see another topaz again, it'll still be too soon. But I'm optimistic because it doesn't seem as bright. Also, do we think that's Snow's house or do we think that's Snow's house? I think it's Snow's house. I actually have another shot where we're talking to Snow right in front of it. So I genuinely believe that's Snow's house. I have one more shot of buildings and then we're going to move on. Because like I said, y'all, we came with a plan and I'm going to do my best to stick to the plan. Yeah, so there are in a bog. Yeah, that's what I thought. After, as soon as you said that, I was like, oh, no. Upon further reflection. Um, so let's see, where are we in our itinerary? Yep, so I skipped over the companions because at this point, I think we know it's the geese, we know it's the skunks. That was not on my bingo card, but I'm okay with it. And we already knew about the honeybees. So, we can kind of skip over the companions. I think we'll all be fine. Um, I am curious about what the other colors for those companions are going to be, but when we're talking about buildings, so we see 2 things stood out to me. One, there's actually a scene where we see Scrooge's bind skin in here. So I'm hoping that means we can start applying the skins to the buildings across the maps in the same way that, we can move the stalls across the maps. However, the skins for these biomes. Okay, let me catch up. Holly also has three berry clusters like the bush. Okay, I've never seen Holly in person, so that's good to know, Lori. There's a frame with her in front of the house. Thank you, Riley. And I think that's what I saw in the other shot where we're standing in front of where we're talking to her in front of it. Um, so my thought is that it's hers. Hey, Abigail, welcome back, and thank you for stopping by. How was it? How was dance? Also, thank you for 31 likes, everyone. That is amazing. I don't know how or when we did that, but thank you. All right, so I absolutely love the look of these. However, I have just a few qualms. One, at this point, now we can put Tiana's palace in our DLCs. Why is her building not considered a staple like Remy's so that it automatically gets the skin? And maybe we will get a mechanism where we can apply the skins, but I feel like we should be seeing it front and center, just like we see Remy's, just like we see Scrooge's, because it is included in, when they're like feed customers from a restaurant. She's part of that. So we have the two restaurants. They're available in all across the maps now. So I feel like we need to hopefully get that skin. Um, I don't remember Ratatouille enough. Maybe one of you does. Um, is this Chez Remy building straight from the movie or a Game Loft original? Because my only thinking is the reason they're not giving Tiana's palace a skin because Tiana's palace is ripped straight from the movie and this building is a Game Loft original. And so because it's not IP, they can kind of do whatever they want with it. One of you let me know if you know Ratatouille better than I do. My second qualm is I need goofy stalls to have these skins. So if this is the snowy biome, I need Goofy's stall to look like it belongs in the snowy biome as well. Um, I'm okay with if the other stalls don't have that. But Goofy is a staple in the same way because I know we've seen shots of the well that brings us there that has the look. Goofy stalls, Wells, Scrooge, Remy's, I put them all in the same kind of category of fixtures in the game. So I need them to get equal treatment in that regard. So that's my only two qualms with that. Now I want to get into the horses. Really, really super quick. Actually, even before getting into the horses, this was not also in the order that I saw things. This is just in the order that I want to chat about them. Because we were talking about the holly. I actually want to bump this up. While they were doing the game play, if you can really call it that, because I don't feel like we saw anything. We didn't see too much that we hadn't seen in all the other videos and clips. However, we did see this. And hold on, let me make it fit. So I made a point to look inside of his backpack. And I see what looks like new flowers, what looks like new seeds at the bottom row, the new seeds in the second to bottom row. I see whatever that gold thing is in that bottom corner, whatever the other thing is that he has 12 of in the second row. Like, I see a lot of new items. It seems like they tried to do the best they could to blur certain things out. But this tells me we're getting a lot of new materials and resources. I love how he still has that white rose from Beast, from Beast Quest in his pocket. Clearly, someone has yet to go get Cogsworth and Lumiere. But I was trying to identify what some of these items are. I'm gonna make it my personal mission to try to figure out what these items are. But if anyone else has figured these out, let me know. I'm gonna zoom in on this. take a picture, examine it, and I'll probably put it in like the community post to see how much of this I figure out. Obviously, you know, a lot of this can be fantastical items that don't even exist in the real world, but I want to see how far I get with figuring this out. All right, I have three more shots that stood out to me, and then we're going to get into the bundle. So the first one, no, no. Okay, so two of them, I'll do it this way, have to do with actually Cruella and Tinkerbell. I forgot her name. Forgot her name. I suspect that the items that we see on the avatar are going to be from their friendship quest lines. So this avatar, so they called him, what did they call him? I forgot what they call him. But the pants. Not to mention Storybook Veil, Scrooge, and Remy in the background. Yes. And that's why I said I know we're gonna be getting more flexibility with being able to move these buildings around and change skins. So I'm like, I need this to translate to Tiana's Palace. I need this to translate to Goofy Stall. Um, for sure, I need this to translate to all the wilds. Like, it seems like they're definitely dabbling and giving us more flexibility with these buildings, these structures, if you will. Um, I hope, you know, like we see it even with the castle skin. I hope this is a trend that continues so that things can start to look more uniform, and more custom to each of the biome that we are designing in and running around in. The pants are two thumbs down. So the pants, okay, how do I say this? I don't hate the pants, but I'm also not looking at the pants in isolation. I'm looking at the entire fit from head to toe, and from head to toe, and then they gave the avatar the ponytail. It's just, it's giving a particular vibe, it's giving a particular look. I love how they put this together. I do hope if this is an outfit that we get, that it is separate pieces and that it is not a costume. The pants are a choice. Like, I know we're all thinking it. The pants are a choice, but I think as a look, I think they nailed the vibes that they're going for with this one. I just hope that if it's something that we are going to get, that it is not a costume and that it is a separate pieces so that I can wear the jacket by itself, for example, so that I can hide the pants, so that I can just wear the riding boots. I think those riding boots would look phenomenal. And then we have the one that I believe is something we're going to get from Tinkerbell. I keep hesitating or pausing, I should say, when I say Tinkerbell, because I keep wanting to say Tinker Lily. And it's a different Tink that we're talking about. So this one didn't really blow up my skirt. Because we have so many Tinkerbell inspired pieces already. I don't feel like they could have done anything much more exciting. I don't dislike it, but it didn't feel special to me, if that makes sense. And then, you know, I think we saw all the things with the horses. However, two things that stood out to me. I know they said we were going to customize the horses. I really, really, really underestimated. The horses is going to be our last stop on this showcase train, if you will. I really, really underestimated. Um, I'm just trying to find my horse pictures here. You might see me flipping through pictures. Nothing to see here. um, Yeah, if you notice, I collected a lot of images. Nice to meet you too, Abigail. Yes, oh yeah, because all of my tours, I don't speak in them. But I do speak in the stream. So thank you for stopping by. Thank you for popping me in your ears. And you have a good night. So I underestimated how the customizations we're going to get. It's giving touch of magic. I love that also they are going to be a category of mounts. So that's what's on the left hand side. So it's not just choosing their colors, but choosing the sort of texture of their skin. Um, Stars and freckles and different patterns and hearts and stripes. That's going to be so much fun to play with. And then all of the gear that goes on top of them, I think is going to be such a fun, in the same way that, we play dress up with, our touch of magic items. I think that's going to be something amazing for us to play around with. But the one that really, 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 really jumped out at me was their mains. And so we see the mains when they are doing the gameplay. And I was not ready for this level of assortment. I was not prepared to see so many different types of hair. The bust down on these horses is going to be something. I really thought it was just going to stop at different color combinations. Um, but the fact that we're able to change the coat, that's what they're called, not skin. Can you tell I don't know anything about horses? We're changing their coat, their mane, their tail, their hooves. In the mane section, there were about 8 different types of hair, or styles, I guess, for lack of a better word, to play with. Um, they really went all in. I am curious. Yes, we're able to customize these, but I'm curious, are there going to be other ways for us to acquire? I do know when I was taking my notes, there was something that they said. Let me go ahead and I feel like they mentioned, in addition for us to be able to match them, I feel like they mentioned us being able to find some gear around Wishblossom, saddle and reins hidden around. That is what they said. And so I'm curious, is that something that's going to be like in chess, or are we unlocking them as achievements? Um, and so it is nice to know that it's not going to just be reliant on what we customize, that there are going to be some saddles and some reins that we're going to find while we're running around. I would love it if those were things we could also buy from Scrooge, TBH. But I won't ask too much from the duck because he barely does what we want what we want him to do now. So I won't put too much on his plate. And then the last thing on my agenda is the purchasing. I expected a deluxe edition. I've been bracing myself for a deluxe edition. For those of you who do not know, I technically play on 3 systems, but at this point, I've decided to play less and less on my Switch just because it is a Switch. And so just the loading has become really, really challenging. And then add to that, when the Switch 2 came out, they added the virtual cards element. And so now my daughter and I can't both play on the Switch, on our Switches at the same time. Whereas before we used to be able to. Um, Scrooge. I don't know what we're going to do with him, Riley. I insult him, I flatter him, I give him gifts, I talk to him on a daily basis. I ignore him. I even took him out of his summer outfit and put him in his blue outfit. Like, I was like, maybe he thinks he's on vacation. Um, right now, all I need from him is that blue table, and he is standing firm and not giving it to me. And I don't understand. But yeah, so we each have switches. We have our PS5 and Mac. Um, as of recently, we've been primarily playing on the PS5 and Mac just because the Switch, like I said, between not being able to both of us use Switch at the same time if we wanted to, and then just the loading times, it just hasn't been worth the effort. To do dailies and stuff like that, sure, it's not a big deal. But when I thought about, okay, if I'm about to spend on this DLC, is it going to be worth buying it on the Switch? And the conclusion that I came to was no. But that still leaves the Mac and the PS5, and both of those get equally played on. So that's why I say I've been bracing myself because I knew whatever came out, it was going to be purchased times two. I didn't really think about how good it was going to be or not be, and yet this still exceeded my expectations. I didn't even know they could do that. And they don't show it, but they say it. Sven will arrive with 4 themed items for mounts and a dream style. So he's just not just showing up and he's a mount. He's coming with things. In addition to the riding outfits that we're going to get, in addition to the house style that we're going to get. This feels absolutely worth it. And then obviously there's the early adopter, which I think is going to last for about 3 weeks. And that's the outfit that she's wearing on the horse there. And I believe, yeah, so this outfit that she's wearing here. And I believe there's a shot where we see the horse. I might not have grabbed that one though. But it's very similar, I think, to like the Tinkerbell one. But yeah, between the early adopters, so getting it basically right out the gate, is definitely something I've had to brace myself with. I've given some thought, Riley, to what the dream style might be. I wonder if it's going to be that coronation celebration one. I forget what they call it. We have it for us as the character, but Kristoff doesn't have it. And if you remember that scene in that movie, Olaf dresses up, Sven dresses up, and Kristoff dresses up. I wonder if it's going to be that. If so, one, I need Kristoff to finally get his. Why do we have it and he doesn't? And two, I need Olaf to get it. Kind of just seems like a natural, especially if that's the one. I don't remember Sven having any other look. So yeah, that is my look at the showcase. Those were my kind of big grand takeaways, the things that I loved, the things that I was excited for. Speaking of, hi Kristoff, how are you? Oh, you guys can't see my game. um, as soon as I got back into my game, the first person I saw was Kristoff. But yeah, those are the things. Yes, at the end of Frozen 2. Yep, that's exactly the one I'm thinking of. Um, it's when she's becoming queen, when Anna's becoming queen. So, hey Kristoff, you might get a new look. Like, and especially if they give him the slick hair and all of that. Um, so yeah, I think this is, a good place to wrap. I guess I didn't really plan to play much. I just really wanted to kind of talk through the showcase because I thought it was really spectacularly done. I want to take one more check to see if I got my Twitch drops. I did not. That is fine. Flower Loki, going to bed. Gotta be up. Oh yes, no, please go to bed. I hope you get a good night's rest. I hope you have a good day tomorrow. And as always, thank you so much for hanging out with me. Your time spent here is truly, truly appreciated. Oh, thank you for the breakdown. for loving the breakdown. Yeah, like that's how I needed to process the information. That's why I didn't watch any was I had planned on watching Tinker Lily's watch party. One, I ended up missing it just because I ended up having an appointment. But two, she was still streaming when I was done, but I was like, you know what, I need to take this in on my own. Otherwise, I'm not going to really be able to process it and digest it the way that I need to. But yeah, this was great. So normally we would do a what is that? An ender stream tour. But my pain meds are also starting to wear off. So I think we are at a good stopping point. We did some dailies. I got 2,500 on my dream snap. You know, before we go, let's go ahead and craft that Mickey bowl. I think I can craft it. Because if I don't do it, I know I'm gonna forget about it because I don't actually care about this event. Does anyone know where I will find it? I'm assuming it's gonna be somewhere here. Um, hello, Foxglove Fairy. Hello, hi. Hello, Anya. Lean. Wait, did I just get rated? As I pack up my things to leave. Hi, Crust. Hi, Anya. Hi, Lean. Oh my gosh. Hi, Megan, Corgi, Krista Joe. Welcome in, Raiders. Um, so Crest, I had to learn how to get rated. So thank you for subscribing, Krista Joe. Welcome to the parlor. Thank you for making it official. You did great, Crest. I literally just finished wrapping up my showcase. Is this the thing I'm supposed to craft? My showcase, well, the thing I'm supposed to craft. My showcase breakdown. Oh, Nirvana, welcome in. And thank you so much for the subscription. So, Cress, Anya, they are two other amazing DDV creators, amazing DDV decorators. Anya does not stream. Cress is on a bit of a streaming hiatus, if you will. But both of them create amazing videos, documenting amazing builds, doing amazing walkthroughs. You'll find both their information in the chat. So if you're ever looking just for a cozy tour, and whereas, you know, I do tours, they also do speed builds. So you can actually see how they built it piece by piece. They do amazing touch of magic designs. They do touch of magic tutorials. So yes, Dreamlight Anya, Cozy Crest Plays, check them out. If you enjoy hanging out with me, you will definitely enjoy hanging out with them. Of course, Anya. Yeah, no, we literally just wrapped up. I kind of just went through the standout moments for me. What I loved, what I'm most looking forward to, what surprised me. Hi, Mrs. G. Hello. Welcome in. And like I said, we just wrapped up. I didn't get anything from the shop. Well, no, I got just this. I think I am going to end up getting this. Or I'm going to finally get this Hatter house out of my pinned and then pin the other house. So that's why I haven't done that. Yeah, but we are wrapping up for the night. Crescent, I didn't see your end of your stream before you run. I'm sure you gotta get some rest. What would you rate the showcase? Um, I give it a 15 out of 10, no notes. What would you give it before we head on out of here? I'm just gonna head to my plaza and look for more candy. But no, tonight was amazing. Today was amazing. I had a great time. Thank you guys. I know it's been a long day of streams and streaming. It's been a lot of content. And this is also why I didn't want to do a, what is that, showcase walkthrough. Because I knew, you know, it's been played all day nonstop. And so I kind of just wanted to do like a little just quick like walkthrough of the standout moments for me, especially as someone who loves to decorate, just what I'm looking forward to most, what has me excited most, little details that I caught. Okay, I don't think I have any more buckets. So I'm just gonna go buy more of the wall from Scrooge, and then we can call it good here. And so I really just wanted this to be like a cozy dissecting of everything. Ty, thank you for the subscription. Welcome to the parlor, and thank you for making it official. Yes, Mrs. G, I am wrapping up. I am 1000 out of 10, no notes. I do not have my next streamed plan. I have been doing, oh, see, this is how I know it's past my bedtime. My white noise just went on. One second. Yeah, this is how I know it's past my bedtime. My white noise is set on a timer, and it basically just said, "Hey, time for bed." I'm just gonna buy more wells from, like, two more wells from Scrooge if I can find him. Um, I do not have my next stream planned, just because I should be resting. But I do have the last of my valley tours, my valley biome tours, that goes live this Sunday. That premieres this Sunday. I do not know yet if I'll be doing my Sunday decorating stream. I hope that I will be able to do so. If so, you guys will see me on Sunday, and then I will be back not next Wednesday, but the Wednesday after that with my next midweek stream. Um, just since we got some raiders, here's what I'll do. We decided to skip my usual. Hold on, let's first of all buy these things. I can't walk and chew gum. So first we're going to, I don't need that many headless horsemen, but I do have an idea in mind. Because we got company, what I will do is show you guys what we decorated on Sunday and end the stream in that room. Feels like a good, yeah. Ah, you went longer than you intended to, Crest. Well, then it worked out. Lean. Well, I'd say enjoy your lurk, but I'm literally just, for lack of a better word, stalling. Just because I'm like, well, you guys just got here. So usually when we do a storage stream, we've been starting a storage stream on Sunday. The following Sunday, I show you guys the outcome. So Cress, want to see how the purple fish room came out that you started with us? That was the fourth floor. This is how it ended up turning out. So we started this on Sunday. I finished it throughout the week. And so this is the room I will leave you guys in with the floating fish above your head. Thank you to everyone who hung out with me today. I hope you all had an amazing showcase day. I hope everyone is, thank you for saying hello. Lean, my favorite part was all of it. The most surprising part for me though was, and the one I'm most excited about, was Glamour Gulch. Just the aesthetic, the way they pulled inspiration from Cruella, the fashion, the colors. I can't wait to see that in real life and walk through it. Thank you so much for everyone who stopped by, who rated, who liked, who commented, who lurked. Thank you, Crest, for the raid. Thank you, New, for the raid. Thank you, Z, for hanging out. Thank you, Anya, for hanging out. These are all amazing creators. So I hope you guys take the time to go and check them out. Like I said, I have another video coming out on Sunday. I may be able to stream on Sunday, but if not, you guys will see me around on the Discord streets in other streams. Yeah, this is the room that we worked on, so I feel like why not end here. You guys helped me pick the wallpaper and the flooring, and we did all the organizing together and just kind of went in with the details, and I am super happy with how this turned out. So I hope you guys love it as much as I do. My fish and I, we feel so organized. We feel so official. So thank you guys so much. If you guys, like I said, from the different discourse, many of you know I got injured. I was not in the best spirits. But you guys definitely made it worth coming on today. I made it worth hanging out today. So I hope I brought you guys as much calm and cozy feeling as you guys brought to me. I hope I was able to bring that back to you. I hope everyone's able to have a great rest of their evening or day. And as always, stay cozy and stay regal. Bye.